Hello bookworms! Today is a very special day because I am filming a special edition of News and Stuff where I am just going to be discussing Star Wars: The High Republic, which is the new announcement that we just got. I'm so excited about it. You don't even know. So after like literal years of teasing us, Lucasfilm finally held a press conference and they revealed what Project Luminos is. What they've announced is Star Wars: The High Republic. It's going to be launching in 2020 and it's a new publishing initiative by a whole plethora of publishers. My initial reaction to this news was obviously, yay! New Star Wars! Because that's pretty much my reaction anytime that I find out that we're going to be getting new Star Wars things. But as I delved deeper and deeper into the announcement and like read all of the details, I just got more and more excited about what I was seeing. I really love the concept art that they showed. I really love the rainbow lightsabers. I'm so excited to have purple lightsabers in Star Wars again outside of Mace Windu because he has never been a character that I really like. I know Mara Jade had a purple lightsaber, but she's not in canon anymore, and I'm just really hoping that there's going to be a character I love with a purple lightsaber. That's all I want. So I'll link an announcement video that Star Wars posted on their YouTube channel, as well as the blog post that they posted on StarWars.com down below in case you want to read anything more in detail, but I am going to cover everything here for you too. So first I'm going to start with my thoughts on the project, then I'm going to kind of segue into what we know so far about the High Republic, and then I'll let you know the authors attached and what books are coming out first. So first of all, I am like hella excited about this for so many reasons. The first one being that Star Wars takes place in a whole galaxy, and we really only scratched the surface with the Skywalker saga, and as much as I love those characters, like obviously, I have a very deep affection for all of the characters in Star Wars, or for most of the characters in Star Wars, should I say. I'm really excited to get to explore more of the galaxy and see more of the Outer Rim and just get to explore so many of the regions that we really haven't gotten expansive detail on just yet. I just can't wait to explore the galaxy far and wide. Second, they've announced that none of the content in Star Wars: The High Republic is going to overlap with any of the prior published works or the films that have already been released, or I believe video games too. Like pretty much anything in canon, there's going to be zero overlap. So the authors attached to this project have complete creative control over the stories that they want to tell. They worked together so hard for so long to come up with the stories that they're going to be telling. And I personally, I'm really excited to be able to dive into a new story without needing any prior knowledge of anything. So I think if you're somebody that hasn't dipped their toes in the Star Wars EU yet, this will probably be a really great place for you to start. No, you most likely won't be seeing character cameos from the faces that you're familiar with in the films, but you'll be on the same footing as everyone else. You won't really need to know much going into it. You'll be able to get a cohesive story, this brand new property that no one knows anything about. Number 3, I'm really excited to see what the Jedi are like in their prime. I truly can't imagine it because every story that we've seen in Star Wars so far, the Jedi have already been struggling with corruption within their own ranks or kind of having to cater to the political things that are going on within the world, and this is going to be basically the golden age of Jedi. So the Jedi Council and the Galactic Republic are working together and it's like the peak of their success and they have a really harmonious relationship. And I'm just really excited to see what the Jedi can accomplish having that established relationship, and instead of like, you know, stealing children and making excuses for why they can't go and save people because of different political reasons. I really want to see the Jedi be the Jedi that we've been told that they were for this whole Skywalker saga, but have yet to truly see. Number 4, I'm really hoping that we'll get to spend some time on Alderaan before its demise, because Alderaan is a planet that I really, really love, and I know it has been explored in the extended universe beforehand. I just really love that planet, so if I could get more time there, I'll be happy. And I know that they said that nothing's gonna overlap, but I'm really curious about what that means for Yoda, because Yoda should technically be, I think, on the Jedi Council at that point in time. The story takes place 200 years before the prequel. Yoda's really old. He's been around for a long time, so he technically should be around during this era, and I'm curious if they're gonna bring him into it at all, if that will be maybe like a surprise kind of thing and they don't want to announce it yet. I know that they do want to focus on these new characters, but I am curious if we'll end up learning a little bit more about Yoda and the race of his people and where he comes from, though I know that that's also probably going to be explored in The Mandalorian, but it would be interesting if they touch upon it in The High Republic as well. And then lastly, if you've watched the video, I just want to say that writer's room clip of everybody at Skywalker Ranch, I was just like, oh my god, what I wouldn't give to be in the room where it happened. Could you imagine being there and getting to create an entire new Star Wars story with all of these other super talented people? Like, I was dying. I was like, wow. They're like living their best life here. Now I'm gonna catch the sand shrew. So many Eevees and party hats. Now back to the video. So here's what we know so far about Star Wars: The High Republic. It's going to take place 200 years before The Phantom Menace, when the Galactic Republic and the Jedi Order are at its zenith. It's a period that has never before been touched by any properties, so it's old enough that it's never been discussed before in any Star Wars canon, but it's new enough that it's after Knights of the Old Republic, which is an older Star Wars game. So I think that the reason that they chose this time period is because they'll have a lot to explore here, and it still gives them the opportunity to do something with Knights of the Old Republic in the future. They've basically described this as the Jedi Knights of the Round Table, so I'm curious if that means that it's going to be kind of pulling from Arthurian legend, if there's like any inspiration going on there. Though the writers have also said that despite this obviously being very heavily focused on Jedi, there still will be new smugglers and new bounty hunters and a new villain. So this new dark threat is going to be coming from the Republic's borders, and the main group of villains is going to be called the Nihil. They've kind of been described as space Vikings, and they've been said that they're going to be a little bit more on like the punk rock kind of side, which just makes me think of like the last Team Rocket grunts in Pokemon Sword and Shield, but these are definitely much more steampunk. Like, they've released some images, so it's definitely different than that. The members of the Nihil have been quoted saying, "You can't take it with you, but we can take it from you." And we've also heard the quote, "Something wicked this way comes," which I really hope is an allusion to Sith Lords. I feel like they have to be involved somehow. Like, they have to be connected to this new threat. I think I would be disappointed if there weren't some Sith or like dark forces going on, if it was solely this group of people. So we'll see how that goes. And so far we know that the story is going to start with something called The Great Disaster, but we don't know what that disaster is just yet. So Star Wars: The High Republic is a cohesive story that's going to be told over adult novels, young adult novels, middle grade novels, and comics from a ton of different publishers. We've got Del Rey, we've got Disney Lucasfilm, we've got IDW Publishing, we've got Marvel, and we've also got Viz Media. The Viz Media property is the one that hasn't been announced just yet, but Viz has been adapting things, like they've been adapting Claudia Gray's young adult novels into manga form, so I would imagine that's going to be their role in this, but we don't actually know for sure yet. Then I'm just going to read you a quote from the announcement. So they said, "This was a golden age for the Jedi and also a time of galactic expansion in the Outer Rim." I'm really excited to explore the Outer Rim. So expect there to be rich tales of exploration, charting out the galaxy, meeting new cultures, and discovering what pioneer life in the Outer Rim was like. This is an incredible sandbox for our storytellers to play in, both within publishing and beyond, and we can't wait to see the fiction they build within it. And neither can I. So we also have such a talented array of writers that have masterminded this initiative. We have Claudia Gray, who I have loved both of her Leia books so far, both the young adult one and the adult one. I still have to read Lost Stars, but I've heard excellent things about that book too. We've got Cavan Scott, who did Dooku Jedi Lost. I loved that story, so I'm really looking forward to reading more of his work. We've got Charles Soule, who did the best Vader comics ever. Like, I loved that series of graphic novels so much, and the fact that he's writing an actual novel is so exciting to me. We've also got Danielle Jose Older. I have not yet read Last Shot, but I am dying to. I think it's going to be one of the next Star Wars books that I pick up. And we also have Justina Ireland. I have not yet read anything by her either because so far she's only worked on the middle grade stories, and while I've been trying to read the Star Wars canon universe, I've been focusing on young adult and adult books. But with this new initiative, I'm going to pick up her book as well because I want to get the full experience from everything in the High Republic. The first books are set to debut this August at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim. The whole initiative is going to be kicking off with Charles Soule's book, which is quite honestly the one that I'm probably the most excited for, and that is Light of the Jedi. This one's going to be published by Del Rey. It's an adult novel and it's coming out on August 25th. I love the cover art. It's so beautiful. That female Jedi that is front and center, like, can I cosplay her? She looks amazing. Then on September 8th, we'll be getting A Test of Courage by Justina Ireland. This is a middle grade novel. This will be the second book in the High Republic, followed by Claudia Gray's book, which is Into the Dark. This one will be coming out on October 8th. I feel like there's already a theme there with those titles. We've got Light of the Jedi, then we've got A Test of Courage, then we've got Into the Dark. So it sounds like things are gonna kind of be getting grim as we keep reading. And then we have the two comic series. So we have the High Republic Adventures, which is going to be written by Danielle Jose Older, and this one's going to be published by IDW, but no release date just yet. And then lastly, we have just the High Republic, which will be written by Cavan Scott, and this is going to be published by Marvel, and again, no release date just yet. So unlike previous Star Wars novels, this story is going to be told over all of these different books. Like, they're all going to be telling the same story, and in order to get the fullest experience, you'll have to actually read everything from this initiative instead of like kind of picking and choosing. Though I have to imagine that these books will be able to stand alone too, because there's going to be people that just aren't interested in certain things. Like, some people don't read comics, some people don't read middle grade, some people are too young to read adult books. I do like that the High Republic is all going to be told and published in canonical order, at least in the beginning. With other books in the Star Wars world, you kind of never know where they're going to fit in on the timeline, and a lot of them span a long period of time, so they might overlap with certain like film properties or comics that are already out. Whereas this, you know that you're going to be getting a canonical chronological story. And another fun thing is that this is all a huge prequel, so anyone who really wants to read Star Wars in canonical order, this will be a really good place to start. It's definitely taking place way before anything that we've explored before, with the exception of Knights of the Old Republic. There's been speculation that we're probably going to meet a new hero in each of these books, and at the end of this, they're probably all going to need to come together to fight whatever dark threat is kind of looming. And people are saying that it's probably going to be an Avengers-like culmination of heroes in stories, because they're even referring to this as, I can't remember if it was Phase 1 or Wave 1, but it just felt kind of similar to the way that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is crafted, even though this is just like solely a publishing initiative at the moment. Let me know what you think below. I know that there are some divided opinions on this. The one thing that I will say is that if this isn't your thing, Star Wars still is publishing a whole bunch of other things that I think people are going to be really excited about. Like, they're doing a new Thrawn trilogy that's coming out in October, the first book. They're doing the next book in the Alphabet Squadron series. I would imagine that they're going to continue exploring, as we know it, canon universe already. We've also got the Star Wars main title comic and the Darth Vader comics coming out. So there's definitely still things happening in the Star Wars universe that you are used to. This is just going to be a new area to explore. My guess is that High Republic is probably going to attract a smaller fan base, just because I feel like people who start reading the extended universe usually does so because they're excited to see characters that they know and love from the films and the TV series. This is really going to be people who love Star Wars the world and want to know more about the universe outside of what we already know, like totally new stuff. Personally, I'm really optimistic about it. I think that they have really great authors attached. And as a huge fan, I'm always really excited to get more information on a world that I love. I'm curious what kind of influence this initiative is going to have over future films. As far as we know, nothing is related at the moment. Obviously, that can always change. I think that they really want to keep this as publishing for now, but knowing the way that Star Wars works, I'm sure that there will be Easter eggs that will pop up in future things, or even, you know, things that we've already seen, but we'll get to see their origins in this series. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do some kind of film that ties into the High Republic, if at least they do like an animated series or a live action series or like a movie type special thing on Disney Plus now that they have that platform as well. So let me know what you think of Star Wars: The High Republic. Let me know if you guys are excited for it, if you're not excited for it, and if you are, let me know which book you're most looking forward to at the moment. So that's all that I have for this video, and I will see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!